Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over. In the last episode, we saw the peace treaty for World War III, aka the War of the Historics. Um, yeah, that was it. There is one thing that we're going to start off the episode with that should have been in the peace treaty, but I am dumb and I forgot it. All the alliances except for two were disbanded. I'm sure you can already tell which of or one of the two. Yeah, the Circle Alliance is not disbanded, and the other alliance that isn't is the Triangle, or not the Triangle, the 5 Point Star Economic Alliance. That. Alright. Okay, so that's done. Let's just turn this off. Um, so we're gonna start off coming over to Caribia, which is its official name, by the way. Um, they did something extremely unexpected. Well, to start, they're invading the country, but said country is pretty equal on terms with them. Pretty equal, as in like relatively equal strength. That is this purple island survivor country here. But Caribia is gonna have the advantage in this because there's not really very easy access over here. Um, they can't exactly just go through the Panama Canal to access it because one, it does exist, and it's like right in here, probably. Um, or actually, it's probably like right in there. But anyway, it's owned by Caribia, so there's no easy access. So they just invade in, and they just take all of it. um, Violent survivor country really can't do much about it. So yeah, I'm sure they have like way better technology, but we are now in. We are officially into the 2000s. Or in the this WICSO's world is officially into the 2000s. And they're starting to advance their technology more. And this is called the age of rapid technology age of rapid technological advancements. Sure. But Caribia isn't done with just these couple islands. No, they want more. So, who do they invade? Colombia. They quickly take the capital, and because they have three borders with four borders with Colombia, they're able to pretty easily march in. Colombia is not relatively equal to Serbia like the island survivors were. Um, they so they face the exact same thing that these islands did: full annexation, which means bye bye capital. All right, but now we move a bit north because this area is still chaos. All these countries still want, or all these countries want land out of others. Example, Huron wants this land right down here, and this bit up here too. Erie wants this land. It's just a bunch of chaos. Um, but Michigan wants like a lot of land, so they're going to invade Huron. Of course, they share three borders with Huron, including like directly next to their capital, pretty much. Um, they're not the only ones that want land out of Huron. No, no. Why would they be? It's not like there's a certain someone up here who lost a ton of land during World War III. But yeah, Superior will decide to invade into Huron as well. They just kind of they need the land back. Let's be honest. All right, so there's that. But then Ontario begins invading too, and someone's not happy about that. Of the five Great Lakes, if I ranked them based on their power, one goes to Michigan, two is Superior, three is Ontario, four is actually Erie, and five is Huron. But yeah, Huron was cooked anyway. Huron and Erie are it's a big gap between three to four and five, but it doesn't help that these guys are fifth either. But anyway, Michigan's not happy about Ontario joining the war, so they begin to invade into Ontario, or they fight against Ontario's troops. And turns out these two actually work well together. Superior will do the same, and they take like the rest of this. Huron will take that, and now they invade into Ontario because why wouldn't Michigan? Um, but they're not the only ones invading down here. Don't worry. It turns out these guys here also want some land over here. 'Cause if they can get a border on Lake Ontario, especially on Lake Erie, then they have way better access to trading in the Great Lakes versus having to go down here. So that's exactly why they're doing this. Um, well, they capture all of this down here, pretty much. But they're not the only ones that want some land down here. They actually don't capture that major city though, either. Turns out Hudson, this Hudson country up here, they also want land, so they just move in, take all of this, and well, these two just got horribly jumped. New York is the strongest of these countries at war right now, but Erie is not very smart. Well, maybe they are actually, but they move in to Michigan and end up capturing their capital, meeting up with Lake Michigan, and this is only because Michigan's forces are distracted up here. Or so Erie thought. Um, yeah, those forces are now invading you, buddy. Um, and New York also wants in on this. I mean, it's practically free land, so they move in as well. They take like, the southern part, the rest of it does go over to Michigan. But America didn't quite realize what had happened before they also started to invade into Michigan. Now, America is now the strongest country in this war, though. But it is kind of like a 4v1. Um, Superior's kind of sending aid. They feel like America betrayed them during World War III, so yeah. These two hate each other now. But Hudson also hates America, but they also hate Superior. They do love Michigan, so they're just helping out Michigan. But Michigan's able to push back Erie all the way, and then New York also hates both Superior and America, but also love they also love Michigan. But America at this point now says, okay, we can peace out, as long as I just get like a little bit of land here, please. But America, or Michigan will just agree to it. They're getting plenty of land anyway. Um, they do kind of want to hold on to that major city, but they're fine with losing it because they get a bunch more up here. But anyway, let's look at what the peace treaty for this war will look like. All right, so here is the peace treaty. We'll start up just going north to south. We see Superior actually getting quite a lot of land out of this. Um, sure it is only of that, but still quite a bit of land. Um, with Huron, they all of the Great Lakes do exist still. Um, the ones that do, or the ones that got cooked in the war, barely exist. But I mean, at least they still exist. Um, that border is really weird, and I probably should have given up that province to Superior, but yeah, oh well. Or maybe given that province to Huron, but no. Why would I do that when I could have extremely absurd borders? Alright, Erie is, or Ontario is down to that. Michigan, you get all of that back, all of that, that, and that. Plus a little bit down there. Alright, um, for the actual Erie, they are just left with this here. This gold team up here, they are getting all of this. They didn't even have control over like most of that, but they still get it. And I colored that all in as superior. Right, gold team. What's that? I have really weird orders. Oh, all right. And lastly, the rest of it just goes over to the yellow team here. Now, something tells me that there's a country in the same exact color as Michigan. But it appears that I cannot find which country, so. Alright, well. Oh, there wouldn't be. Okay. Alright, so America just gets that left. Oh, did these couple pixels go over to the yellow team? Alright, three countries have to redo their capitals now, too. Which is fun, as always. And also all of them were left with only one major city. Initially, I was even going to give this major city to Michigan, but nah. Alright, so now this is done. We move on. Just to, I, I am, I don't know, I am just now remembering that this area here is like on the same parallels as this area here. But yeah, okay. So we're gonna talk about Catalonia. These guys are gonna have fun time as they break out with four rebellions in their territory. First one being in the north here, when I actually get to the right layer. So the first one's up there. Um, there's a bright orangey colored one out here. Um, yeah, bright orangey. I don't know. There is a more lime green one. It's kind of down here. And the last one is more this like kind of mid blue, and it's along the border of the orange team. It also has these two islands out here. Just a bit further more up here. But yeah, 4 rebellions break out in Catalonia. This one up here, they're fascist. These, this one here, as well as this one down here, are both communist. And this one is, it's kind of, it is a democracy, but Catalonia is also a democracy. Well, kind of. The, they are democracy. Also, this needs to be updated. Um, so yes, these guys are democracy. Forgot that. But um, Catalonia, they're not really acting like it. It seems more like a dictatorship to a lot of people than a democracy. But actually, we're gonna stay on this ideology layer. We need to go back to certain someone over here. Yeah, Caribbean now has a dictator instead of a democracy. Um, this comes to a shock to a lot of the world. But it turns out this dictator is actually really helping this country out. So yeah, he's enforcing a lot of like um economic stuff that's really benefiting the country. And also he's doing something like with real life South Korea, what they did after the Korean War. Um what he's doing is he's gambling half of the country's economy on um or on companies. And a lot of those companies are now succeeding a lot. Um, Most popular phone brand comes from Caribbean. A lot of like seafood stuff is coming from Caribbean because it's the Caribbean. What else would there be here? But yeah, so there. Um, but they're getting helped out a lot. All right, let's go back to this. Um, we see Catalonia is seeming to get outside aid. So Catalonia is able to fight off these rebellions quite well at that. The first one to go down is the Democratic one because the leader of this one seemed to be like a dictator anyway. They'd never had much support. This light green communist one also doesn't have a whole lot of support. Um, so they're able to get taken down a lot quicker too. Once this major city's captured, they kind of falter ish. Um, but then this orange one also comes in and they take over like the rest of this land. But this one and the fascist one is they're prospering out of this. Um this orange one even moves down to take over this major city here and the fascists up here. They didn't take over any major cities, but they've taken over a lot of the Catalonian northern lands. Um and yeah. So Catalonia is falling apart to 2 rebellions. But guess what? Your savior is here, as West France help will send it directly into Catalonia. So will this yellow team out here. So the fascists are being dealt with too. The communists are also getting pushed back some. They lose this major city, and they're also getting pushed back out here. Yet not all communists like each other. These two do not like each other. I'm sure some of you might have thought that these guys were helping these guys because both are communists. No, no, they hate each other. The fascists begin faltering, but then suddenly they just shoot straight back up and directly connect up with this country here. And uh, for whatever odd reason, they unite. Um, these guys aren't even a country yet, but yeah, they unite. But now they're getting outside aid. But Catalonia is able to fend them off right as they're about to capture the capital. And the fascists, well, they manage to cut back across, capturing this northern land here. However, the communists, once they lose this major city, they also now falter apart as they aren't getting the same aid, same level of aid the fascists are. Fascists move back to capture this. They move back to capture this land here, and these countries will agree to peace. So, we'll take a look at what this one border will be looking like as peace treaty. All right, so this is the quick little peace treaty. I found out that there's a province right here that's half split between what was Catalonia and West France. Um, this was all supposed to be Catalonian, but yeah. Okay, so now we have a new fascist country here. They're not happy. None of these countries are happy about it. The only ones that actually are is the Dark Scion team because they're also fascist. But with seeing as Carolina, seeing as Catalonia is quite unstable, uh we see us coming back to the alliance layer as a new alliance is formed. We see a new square alliance being formed between the Scion team, Catalonia, Gibraltar, West France, the Mediterranean country here, and the Adriatic Union. But this isn't the only piece or the only alliance we see forming, as moments later, on the exact same day, see a new triangle alliance forms between Crimea, Istanbul, the blue team, Caucasia, Azerbaijan, Caspia, um, and the blue team. It's kind of a surprise that the blue team is in this, as um they're not really known to be fond of these other countries, but they had a another reshaped government, and that was enough, I guess. Plus, there's also some countries over here like North Caspia or Bulgaria that might want their independence, so they're just they're just keeping everything in check, you know? All right. Is it the same color as somewhere? I feel like it is. Okay. Maybe I'm just seeing things. Okay, we're coming back over to Switzerland, actually, for the last event of the day. Uh, actually, why would I do that? They unite with the blue team. Simple as that. The blue team never wanted to leave them. They were kind of just forced to be spat out. But they were never told you can't reunite, so they reunite. Alright, but that will do it for today's episode of What If Civilization Started Over. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.